How art thou?
Oh, hey guys, it's another Wednesday night, a great night for the show, The Jump Cut.
I was actually actively trying to remember the name of our show this time, so it works out.
Well, this is basically a show where we talk about movies, TV, video games, comic books, and all around geek culture.
And vintage pornography.
Oh, yo, vintage pornography is very well. Vanessa Del Rio is always has a special place in my heart. I'm one of your hosts, Nigel Fullerton. Sitting with me is my other host,
Steve May.
Steve May, hey.
Hey. I was just on Tales from the Bottom of the Ocean. You might remember that. But
I might.
You might.
And I got feedback from my live. Do you hear it?
No. Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Is it on?
From somewhere, yeah.
Oh, is it on the... Oh, it's on there. Okay.
Oh, no. Okay, cool. So it's not me. It's not me. See? All right, cool. So it's not me.
So Nigel is actually writing stuff down, but I'm holding my thinking pen because I'm writing in spirit. And you're watching Area 22.
Yes.
It's like the Disney thing.
Well, today we'll be talking about we'll be spoiling the movie Us for anybody who has not seen it at the end.
Please don't ditch us. We love you.
Also, we'll be talking about Scream, the movie trilogy, Scream, or what do you call for 4 movies? What is that? Trilogy. It's a...
You could just do a saga.
Saga. Okay, the Scream saga.
Or series.
Basically, Steven's never seen these movies, and I have, so we're basically going to spoil it for everybody as well. But first, we're going to be talking about Geek News.
Geek News.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening in the news for geek culture. First things first, we're going to talk about the announcement of Bill and Ted 3.
That is something.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves and the other guy, they're going to be doing a Wild Stallions movie where basically they're coming back in time to save the world.
Yeah, you know, like Bill and Ted 1 and 2.
Yeah. How do you feel about this?
Indifferent. I don't feel much about the Bill and Ted movies. I know one of our producers over there really loves them.
I love the Bill and Ted movies. I love the first one more than I love the second one, but they hold a special place in my heart.
It's just interesting to see Keanu Reeves go back to that from like John Wick.
But see, here's the thing: like he was about to, like he blew up after Bill and Ted. The first Bill and Ted. So he went and did Point Break right after. I'm almost positive. You guys can like correct me if I'm wrong. But he did.
Yeah, chat. He did interactive.
He did Point Break after Bill and Ted, and then he became a household name and went back to do Bill and Ted 2, which didn't do as well as the first one. But
yeah, it's become like a cult thing at this point.
Yeah. But definitely, I mean, they've been teasing this for a long time.
Did they give a release date?
They didn't give a release date. They've been teasing this for a good 5 years. They've been playing with the audience. A lot of people have been waiting for this.
Wow.
The Wild Stallions return. Listen, man, Bill S. Preston, Esquire, and Ted Theodore Logan are past due.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
I want to know what's going on with them. The only issue is George Carlin is dead. I don't know if you knew that George Carlin was in there.
No, I didn't know he was dead.
Yeah. So now I'm curious to see what they have coming up. But I think that they will have a great script if they're doing this because it's been like 20 years ago, right?
I mean, it was 11 years till Duke Nukem Forever. So.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Let's put that in your minds. The game was worth $7 a week after it launched.
True.
So.
All right. Well, next up, we got Angelina Jolie joining the MCU.
Yeah.
Yes, Angelina Jolie
Girl power.
Reportedly going to be in the Eternals movie.
Oh.
Which is a movie that none of us know about. Have you ever read any of the Eternals comics?
The DC Eternal series. They had like it wasn't like Eternals, it was like Batman Eternal kind of stuff. Whereas like where each issue was written by someone else.
Okay.
And that was pretty cool. But then they wanted to make it like come out every week, and they realized, hey, it's not possible to make a comic come out every week, and when that like wild of a concept.
Yeah,
so quickly fell apart.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Angelina Jolie. I really thought that she should have been in Thor Ragnarok. Like I really like as Hera.
Yeah,
I think she would have played a great Hera. Not to say that I think it was Kate
Upton.
Kate Beckinsale or something like that.
No,
I think she did an amazing job, but I think Angelina Jolie would have like just put an extra oomph into it.
I think that I don't know, just thinking on like Marvel Cinematic Universe now, you're getting like so much traction with the mainstream audiences that you have big name actors like Angelina Jolie wanting to do this stuff, and I find that I mean like obviously you know you have Samuel L. Jackson, which is no person to write off.
You also have Michael Douglas too.
Yeah, and they've been doing it from a while back. So looking at it now and seeing how big it's becoming, how popular it is really cool for like geek culture.
Yeah.
But it also kind of like ruins for me a little bit like the niche of like geek culture.
I feel like geek culture has become pop culture.
Yeah,
I feel like
you go on a Hot Topic where you expect to be like scared by the people at the front desk, and it's like all like the goth shirts and everything, and now it's just pop figures.
Well, you know what's real?
I bet you got these at Hot Topic, didn't you?
No, this wasn't Hot Topic. This was years of Amazon and GameStop
and Hot Topic.
I do have some from Hot Topic. I'm not gonna lie. But
I got a Macho Man Randy Savage from Hot Topic.
Ooh, I do love the Macho Man Randy Savage. But
yeah, brother.
But you know what's funny now that these MCU movies are like they're about to get awards, like they're nominated for Oscars now, which would never happen before. I think the last superhero movie that was nominated for an Oscar was probably Superman.
Yeah.
So
yes, that's something.
You know. But next up. Excuse me. Umbrella Academy Season 2.
Wow, we didn't expect this to happen. we didn't expect this to happen at all. Gee Willikers, Batman.
I mean, I did like Umbrella Academy Season 1. I just don't know where they're going to take it in Season 2.
I mentioned it in that episode where we talked about the Umbrella Academy, which you can find easily now on our YouTube. You have no excuses. It looks like the Umbrella Academy logo. I did work on that, but work. You and you, both audiences. I made when I was thinking about it, because they combined a lot of book 1 and book 2, like Dallas and what's it called, and the Apocalypse Suite. And now moving forward, are they going to explore more from like the past, like they did with Dallas?
I think they might.
Or are they going to like, because they still got to move forward, and they got to take on the White Violin. I'm not going to spoil.
Okay.
But they got to take on the White Violin.
Interesting. Didn't they take her on now already, or no?
No, the show ended as she was attacking them.
Oh.
Remember? It ended.
It's been so long since I've seen this.
It was a couple weeks.
I know, but the way my mind works.
No, the way it ended was is you had the White Violin just like play the note, and then just things started blowing up and the show ended.
I just remember her in her white pantsuit and just ready to like do a concert.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looked like school recital.
And at least they kept some stuff from the comics with that. Like they still played Igor Stravinsky. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
But anyway, all right, what's up next, boy?
Next up we have, how do you feel about the Black Widow movie that's going to be coming out?
I didn't even see that on the list.
Ah, yes. Well, now that the Captain Marvel has come out and there's a lot more female-driven movies, how do you feel about in Phase 4 of MCU, they're coming out with a Black Widow movie?
I still feel indifferent, as I did with Captain Marvel being a female movie.
Okay.
It's like, I don't care if they're female or not, just be good. But I think that Black Widow might be just another love story with the Hulk. Gonna get that again?
I don't think you're gonna get that. I've heard, and this is not of knowledge, but I heard it's gonna be more like Winter Soldier. It's gonna be more like based on her spy days.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd like that.
You know, and I hope so, and I hope it's like her. Like I hope it's her past. I don't want it to be future, because after you fighting Thanos, like I really don't want to see you doing anything else.
Yeah.
Plus the fact that she doesn't have superpowers, and we don't. That's the one Avenger that we don't know too much about besides Hawkeye.
Yeah, I was about to say Hawkeye.
I think I want Hawkeye in this Black Widow movie. Like I would love.
I mean, yeah, they were always like marketed together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm game for that.
Okay. All right. Well, also David Harbour from Stranger Things is going to be in there.
Yeah, that's good.
He's playing Hellboy. Yeah. So hopefully they do well with it. Next up, we're talking about we saw the trailer for the Jeffrey Dahmer movie.
Yes.
With Zac Efron playing Jeffrey Dahmer.
I like it. I like that concept of like the pretty boy playing Jeff Dahmer, because like you want Jeff Dahmer to have that kind of like alluring smile and that kind of like those kinds of eyes, like to show the character.
Do you? Like honestly,
for when they're talking about how everything's going through and like how twisted his mind was, you're looking at that from like the psychological perspective. and then you're moving forward with that into how things built up, you know, into the relationships that he's built, and then she's like, well, how do you feel knowing that he did all these things? And then she just like looks into those like weirdly High School Musical eyes.
That's what I think it is. I think it's Jeffrey Dahmer High School Musical. That's how I feel about
He just starts dancing on slitting throats.
Yeah. I feel like it's the Baywatch movie with Jeffrey Dahmer.
I think Zac Efron has potential to pull it off.
You think so? I don't know, because I know Zac Efron from those movies. Zac
Efron also did like some darker comedies.
Like what? I
forgot the name of it, but he was in a darker comedy. Like it was like a dating thing.
He's in Neighbors.
Yeah, he was in. Like
1 and 2.
I do think Zac has the potential to pull this off.
You think he has range?
I think he's able. Yeah, I think why. Listen, how else are we going to give the guy a chance without like a movie like this sitting now?
It's true. I mean, you know, you have to spread your wings. It's kind of like when Ashton Kutcher did Butterfly Effect.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't think he could pull it off.
He really spread his wings there.
Yeah, he really did. But who knows? We'll find out. Netflix always has like something for us. So we'll see what happens with that. Next up, Borderlands 3 has been announced. And this is one of your favorites. I'm not a true Borderlands fan.
Butt Stallion.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a great series. It's like when I played the first game, I just fell in love with. It was that like grindy kind of element to it, but it had like a story that you were kind of following the purpose to get to that vault. But like your grinds were rewarded, you know, and the enemies were fun to kill. The level design was really well done. They have Borderlands 2, which was brilliantly done. I mean, the intro takes a bit long after you've been playing it like 7-8 times, but like just playing through that entire thing, going through all the DLC and everything, is just like magical, you know.
I don't like first-person shooters.
But it's not. It's like more of a dungeon crawler than a first-person shooter.
I felt like I was being shot at. Like I didn't feel like happy to be there. Like I'll put this out in the open. I don't like first-person shooters, and this stems from GoldenEye on 64. I used to die all the time. They used to shoot me. I don't understand what's going on. I don't get this. So when Borderlands comes out, I actually got the game because everybody said it was so great, and it had these great, funny little things. It was cartoonish. So I was like, all right, fine, let me play this. And I got shot up by some kid, 14-year-old kid back in like Indiana or some.
It doesn't work that way. It's not how Borderlands is.
That's how it feels like to me.
They're NPCs. You play it with friends. You don't play against people like that.
I don't know what's going on. I had it on PS Vita. I told you about that.
Yeah, that's why you had it on PS Vita. No,
playing it on the go.
We got to play Borderlands 3 when it comes out. Yeah. You got to break that mold.
I will definitely. We will live stream a Borderlands 3. I will definitely play this. I'm not too old.
Well, also Borderlands isn't really just a shooter. Borderlands is like you have abilities.
Right. There's abilities, and it's kind of like
specials. There's like
Fortnite,
skill trees. No.
Then I don't know what Borderlands is. I don't know what I played. I told you I played 5 minutes of this game. I did not know what was going on. I said this is enough. I quit. I went and played Mario because that's what I do. I don't understand these video games, and anytime I get frustrated with a video game, I go put on Nintendo and I play Super Mario Brothers.
No, Borderlands is all about killing, looting, getting your specialty, watching the flying numbers go by.
That's what Super Mario Brothers is about. It's about killing those little toad things and getting that mushroom to get your superpowers up.
But it's not like it's just there's something about the charm in Borderlands. It's just you can't rival, you know.
Right.
If you didn't like the game, play the Telltale series.
Okay.
Because that's a really well told story of Borderlands.
All right.
In the universe.
Because I played Borderlands 2 and I was just like,
that's a great game, but your loss. And it comes out September 13th.
September 13th. Speaking of video games, announced was the Genesis Mini. Yes, Sega is now throwing their hats in the mini console arena.
And it's going to fail just as badly as the PlayStation Mini.
Oh, PlayStation Mini was horrible. But I think it's going to do better than PlayStation Mini. My only issue with the Genesis Mini is that Sega has been putting out so many crappy consoles with already all of these games already, and they have like video games. Like I can play Genesis on my PS4.
Yeah, I know, but and then you also have the Genesis games, the thing on the Switch through Nintendo.
I think so,
but then you're looking at like the Nintendo Mini, like the Nintendo SNES Mini.
It's for nostalgia.
But not even just that. I was reading people, like people wrote up articles who read through the code, and apparently they might have just taken ROMs that people already ripped.
I think so.
And put it on there and slapped it on there and made a quick buck.
And you probably can add more ROMs to it as well.
Yeah, but why not just get like a Raspberry Pi for $30 and do it yourself?
True, but not everybody's that tech savvy.
It's not about being tech savvy. You just drag files onto it.
I get it, but think about who the Genesis is for. The Sega Genesis came out in 1991. Okay, so the Sega Genesis is for people who are like 30 and up.
Yeah, but
that's their audience. So the 30 and up crowd.
So is the Nintendo Mini.
True. But a lot of people didn't want to get Raspberry Pis for that, because if that was the case, they would have all did that. Because like me personally, I don't have the time to do a Raspberry Pi and like mod it and fix it. Oh yeah, I got a new Dreamcast game here. Oh, I got this new PlayStation 2. I'm playing Sly Cooper.
With the Raspberry Pi, you could just plug it into your TV and then you could plug in a USB controller. It's already calibrated.
Is it really $39 or no?
It's like $30, yeah.
I've never known that. I've always seen it as like already modded and everything for like $200.
Yeah, because you buy the kits.
That's probably why.
Yeah, the Raspberry, the actual like thing itself is cheap. But anyway,
well, something we know now. See. So next up, let's go to the Joker trailer came out
with
today.
Joaquin Phoenix.
With Joaquin Phoenix, yes, the Joker trailer came out. It's very dark. It looks like it's an origin story that's going to be great. It's inspired by the movie, the Martin Scorsese movie, The Comedian, that came out in 1983 with Robert De Niro. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie.
I've not. It sounds really interesting.
I just watched it recently. It's The Comedian is a movie with it's Robert De Niro and I forget his name now. Jerry Lewis. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis plays this kind of talk show host. So he's kind of like Johnny Carson, mm-hmm. Tonight Show, and Robert De Niro is this horrible comedian that tries to get on the show and can't. So what he does is he kidnaps Jerry Lewis to try and get on the show, and it's a very interesting movie. But this is a lot of it was inspired by this Joker movie. I don't know if you watched the trailer yet or not.
I did. Mm-hmm. I watched the original trailer too, and I also watched like scene excerpts. I think Joaquin Phoenix was like an awesome fit.
Right.
I think he's going to work his absolute hardest, or he probably did because the movie's like done filming. But he probably worked his absolute hardest to encapsulate that role and give us something different. It's hard to tackle the mantle after Heath Ledger. It's much easier after Jared Leto, but it's really hard after Heath Ledger.
It is. I mean, listen. People used to say it was hard to follow in the footsteps of
Jack Nicholson. Mark Hamill, which we have to talk about as well. Mark Hamill. I have something to talk about him. But a lot of people thought that as well. I think with Joaquin Phoenix, I can honestly say he's crazy, and he's a method actor. Yeah,
like he'll put himself into the work. So I can't wait to see what it's going to be about.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be the right tone. I think DC's finally going up.
I think so, because they're trying to do
and you'll know next week on Wednesday when we review Shazam.
Oh yeah, of course. It already has an 8.5 by me. Yeah, it's gonna be one of these Elseworlds things where it's not gonna be like the source material of Batman. Mm-hmm. It's just gonna be the story of a failed comedian.
Because there's no and I'll give you a second so you can drink your water.
Sure.
There's no official like source to what happened to the Joker. You look into the Joker's past, and then you see like vat of acid.
There's so many different things that happen to him.
There's no really canonical thing that happened to the Joker that makes him that makes him who he is.
Right.
And that's what's great about him is he maintains that mystery that for lack of a better example, that Michael Myers has.
Okay.
Or had before Rob Zombie.
Right.
He was a mysterious, faceless, soulless kind of person. That's kind of what the Joker is now. And I think having this backstory would be a very interesting take on it. Like Into the Spider-Verse was an interesting take on a new Miles Morales story.
Right. I mean, well, there is already a story that happens that Joker was a failed comedian.
Yeah.
And a lot of, to be honest with you, a lot of comedians are messed up in the head.
Yeah,
I mean, they're super there's something wrong.
To be able to find light in those dark situations, or it has
not
to be
even that. To be in front of a whole bunch of strangers and look for their acceptance.
Yeah,
by words. You're not singing to them. You have to give them words, and they have to say, "Oh, I like those words." Those words are actually entertaining to me.
With me, it's like I give them noises. Oh, I like those noises.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a long noise you did there.
But yeah, I truly want to see what's going to happen with this. I have high hopes for this one. Next up,
Are those Ray-Ban fake glasses?
yes, they are. Yeah. They
Glasses are
Ray-Ban.
a handicap.
Oh my goodness. This is my Clark Kent right here, man. Next up, James Gunn is back to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Hey, they finally realized that 11 years is enough time for someone to change as a person.
It's this cancel culture that we live in nowadays.
Yeah.
Because people did something a long time ago, they never can. Just because you found out about it now there's an outrage for it.
For the uninformed, what happened to James Gunn is that he made tweets back in 2008 that were considered unsavory, like really dark jokes, but they were part of like Twitter, not like memes kind of at the time.
Yeah.
Like campaigns, and he was doing those, and then people looked back to his Twitter. I don't know how long it took them to go back 10 years, 11 years, but they did it, and then they took those tweets and then they reported them to like news outlets, and then like Disney didn't want anything to do with him, so they fired him off Guardians.
Right.
And he's like, fine, I'm gonna go to DC and I'll direct Suicide Squad 2.
Which I want to see if he's gonna do both.
I think he is. He's already far enough into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Suicide Squad 2 is 2020 release, I think.
Okay, no problem, because he already wrote Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so all he had to do is shoot it, so he could do the movies back to back. But yeah, I'm happy that he's back. I think a lot of the actors on that are happy that he's going to be back. But we'll see what's going to happen. Like I really want to I really like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I like the tone of them. The second one wasn't all that great, but I do want to see them introduce Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this. We'll see what happens. And last but not least, on Geek News, announced this week for the Chucky movie, the voice of Chucky is Mark Hamill.
What? Why didn't you tell me this?
I meant to say this to you. This is just a thing that just happened. Yes, Mark Hamill is now the new voice of Chucky.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Does it?
Yes.
I still don't know how I feel about it.
He can so do it. Mark Hamill could totally do that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
he can
know.
do that.
All right, we'll leave it up. We'll see what happens when it comes out. We're definitely going to watch this movie when it comes out, right?
Yeah, no, all these movies that we're talking about, we're probably going to see.
Yeah, we're probably going to see this.
If we're talking about there's like a speck of interest in it.
Yeah. So we'll see what
Aside
happens.
from Angelina Jolie joining the MCU, which I'm like, I got to see because it's a Marvel movie, and you guys want Marvel movies. So.
Yeah, but that's it for Geek News, everybody.
Yeah. So next up we have Scream 1.
So we talked about Scream 1 last week.
Yeah. So why don't you do a quick overcap? We're doing spoilers with it, right?
Yeah, we're doing spoilers. We're doing full spoilers with everything.
All right, so we're gonna spoil Screams 1 through 4 first, and then we're gonna spoil Us. Right. I read it as U.S. I'm like, wait a second, that's not the movie.
We're gonna spoil Us.
We're gonna spoil the United States.
So Scream was a 1996 movie directed by Wes Craven, starring Nev Campbell, Drew Barrymore's in it, a whole bunch of other people. Basically what happens is there's a killer on the loose, and he's killing a lot of people in the town of Woodsboro. Come to find out that it's all because of Nev Campbell's character, that this person's been killing people, and basically her mom was sleeping with somebody else's father, and this is what the whole concept of them. So
then he's dating what's her name, Sid.
Yeah, Sid, who's Nev Campbell.
Yeah, so Sid's ends up like, we're spoiling this, so just go straight to it.
Yeah, just go straight to
it. Sid finds out that she's dating the killer, and the killer has a partner, and the whole movie's a whodunit type deal, which is really good.
Right.
And
it's very self-aware, as what you told me. Like it follows all of the laws and theories of scary movies,
while legitimately calling them out on it.
Exactly.
Like, they broke down, like, there's points where they go to film classes in the school and they're talking about film and breaking it down.
Right.
And then when you are watching the movie, that's exactly how it's going down, but it's happening in such a fun way. There are some kills that happen throughout the Scream series. Well, despite me not loving all the movies, are just fun. Like, there's this one kill in I think it was Scream 2 or 3.
Okay.
Where you see one of the characters running, and then you just see the ghost face just rip the carpet from under them, and they just go face down.
It's hilarious. It's cheesy. It's
meant to be. It's so campy and fun.
I just wanted to know how you felt about these movies, because
we're starting off Scream 1.
Yeah.
So Scream 1, I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I love the whodunit aspect to it. I love that they brought plot into it that made sense.
Right.
On the other hand, as I'm watching the movies, I'm like, why is any of this that girl's fault? Like, hasn't she suffered enough?
It's not her fault.
Yeah, like, how is this any of her fault?
It's not her fault.
Like, okay, great. Her mother was a little promiscuous and she did some shitty things, but like, my apologies. But but like, she's not her mother. She couldn't control what her mother did.
Exactly.
So, but it was Scream 1 was a really fun movie. It's a good way to sit back and throw some popcorn and just enjoy. Just make sure that you have all your doors locked when you go cook the popcorn.
Yeah, I did like Scream 1 when it first came out. It was actually kind of suspenseful.
Yeah. Did you see it in theaters?
No, I told you I watched it on bootleg tape.
That's right.
Yeah, I was like,
"What is paid for?" By the way.
Yeah, what is this movie? Scream. Like it just said Scream in like printed font, and I was like, okay, what is this? Yeah. So I was like, all right, let me watch this. Oh, there's some kind of brief nudity in this. All right, let me see what's going on. Let me investigate this further. Let me see if there's any more.
Put on your magnifying glass.
Yeah, she's like, hey, you want a PG-13 relationship? And she like flashes him, and he almost falls down. Yeah, so I like the first one. I forget exactly who's there's a couple of people, I forgot his name. I forgot all the name of the people on it.
I got
Courtney Cox is in it.
Yes, it was weird seeing her in that movie because when I first saw Scream 1, I'm like, oh, she looks familiar. But as I'm watching, I'm like, she's from Cougar Town.
Right. Why did you go to Cougar Town and not Friends?
Because Friends is a trash show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you went to Cougar Town and not Friends. That's hilarious.
Because Friends is trash. I hate to break it to you.
Him, her. There's a whole bunch of other people that are in the movie, which I like.
You have Courtney Cox. You have David Arquette.
David Arquette.
Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
Skeet Ulrich. You have
Skeet Ulrich was the he was the substitute. That's how I know him.
That was Billy, I think. Billy Loomis.
Oh no, I'm saying in the movies, the substitute series.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Jamie Kennedy, Drew Barrymore,
which was Jamie Kennedy's first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore. And so
no, this one really surprised me.
Yeah.
Liev Schreiber.
Well, he wasn't big then.
I know, and they're really just like looking back. I'm like,
he wasn't.
Wow, this is weird.
He wasn't big then. Like Liev Schreiber, like I call him Ray Donovan now, but he wasn't. He wasn't Ray Donovan. He like even when he started with Ray Donovan, I was like, I don't want to see Cotton Weary.
Yeah, no, it's like I think that. Just watching the movies. I don't know. And they also had in Scream 2 they had Timothy Olyphant.
Timothy Olyphant was in there. Also,
which by the way, kind of geek news. Season 3 is out for Santa Monica Diet. I think it's called, or Santa Clarita Diet.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Yeah, which is an interesting show. It's about two parents to become cannibals. So that's something.
Yeah, it's but there's also Sarah Michelle Gellar who's in there. There's also Jerry O'Connell. And we're talking Scream 2 now, right?
Yeah.
We're all in Scream 2.
So yeah, Scream 1, thumbs up, watch it.
Scream 2, there's so many different, like it felt like a high school, like it was at the peak of that high school like theme stuff. Like all the major players were in this movie.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, let's pull out all the big guns. You have in the beginning Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett Smith, who die like in the first couple seconds.
Which is great because it's really fun because they talk about why is there so much gratuitous nudity as they're recreating the scene from the first movie, which is brilliant. The intro scene from the first movie is the intro scene to the second movie on the screen on this super meta in-movie film called Stab, about the events of the first movie.
Exactly.
And oh, that is so brilliant.
And they're complaining about how the black people always die in the beginning.
Yeah.
And they are the black people that die in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, that was so brilliant.
like it's just like, and it just happens, and like you see Jada Pinkett like overacting her ass off.
Yeah.
Just like in front of everybody.
They made fun of that in Scary Movie too, I think.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But watching Scream 2, I just couldn't help but get the thought of like, wow, this is brilliant kind of thing. Because throughout the movie, they went all out. Like they knew what the Scream series was. They knew exactly how like meta it was, and they just went all out with it
because they knew they had a hit on their hands.
Yeah, but it's not even just that. It's the idea that like you have Wes Craven, who's a horror fanatic and so like well versed in horror,
right?
Bringing that into a movie about horror, which is self-realizing.
Well, it's cool. I mean, and like I said this last week also. The Scream series revived Wes Craven's career. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you think about it, you're going back to the Nightmare on Elm Streets. He made all of those Nightmare on Elm Streets. I think there's about 10 of them, maybe or maybe 14. I'm not sure. But the thing is about the Nightmare on Elm Streets, they were sucking until he did New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Which came out in '94. He also had People Under the Stairs, which was in between that. So those were his two hits. The Scream franchise kind of revived his career because, like I said before, he was into that Vampire in Brooklyn, which wasn't that good. If you ask anybody about Vampire in Brooklyn, they'll tell you either they never seen it or it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something.
We have to review it one day. I just want to know what your take is on it. But
back to Scream 2.
Yeah, Scream 2.
Scream 2 is following the events of Sid, which is
she's in college
she
now.
She survived from Scream 1. She's in college. Her friends are with her.
Yep. Elise Neal.
Yeah, it's basically what it felt like a part 2 to the movie. That's the best way to describe it. Scream 2 didn't feel like a sequel as much as a part 2.
My favorite is always watching Nev Campbell punch Courtney Cox in the face.
Yeah, they're having all of them, right?
Just about, yeah. Except for the third one. Third one, I don't think she punched.
I don't think it happened in the third one.
Yeah, but in those two movies, she definitely punched her in the face.
But watching those. I watched Screams 2 and 3 back to back, so I'm trying really hard to separate them.
Oh no, it's cool. Listen, Scream 2. If you do Scream 2, Scream 2 is more about the college. Scream 3 was about the movie.
Yeah, no. So Scream 2, I got that. I was trying to remember specific scenes.
Okay.
So, but Scream 2 had she's traumatized. She's been through a lot. You see Neve Campbell like brilliantly still do that like petrified kind of acting style, where she's like. She shows fear, but still kind of perseverance kind of shows through it. And that's really brilliantly done. I don't think that like any actress could do that. And what I love is that it is a movie that like showed empowering women like at an early stage.
Right.
Like she was just unkillable.
She definitely is. Nev Campbell in the Scream series itself is definitely unkillable. There are certain people that are unkillable in the movies, which you always think that they're about to get killed, but it never really happens.
Yeah,
because they always raise the stakes. So Jamie Kennedy says it in film class. Excuse me, with like Joshua Jackson sitting there, and like all the like the CW people.
Yeah,
everybody that was in Dawson's Creek is in this movie. So. Basically what happens is the stakes are higher in sequels, and every sequel that they have, stakes are supposed to get higher. Even the heroine might die. Yeah. And they always put that into it.
They put that into 3.
Correct. They pushed it more in 3 than they did in the second one.
In the second one, it was more along the lines of like she sees that there's another killer, and then it's just kind of like it's figuring out. It feels like a lot of like what people loved about Scream 1 amplified in the sequel, which is kind of what people want from a sequel.
True. Did you think that it was the boyfriend in the second one?
No. I didn't think. I didn't think.
Could you think about who the killer was in Scream 2?
Yeah.
So you definitely knew it was him the whole time.
Yeah, I had my Scream 2 had two. It had 2 killers again.
2 killers, right?
It had Timothy Olyphant and his someone he found through like Craigslist on the dark web, something like that.
No.
That wasn't his mom, was it?
No, that was Billy Loomis's mom.
Oh, that's right.
Right. There was no Craigslist back then.
But like they found each other through ads though. They didn't like.
Yeah, they found each other through ads. Back then it was like newspaper ads or whatever. But this is Billy Loomis's mother, who Nev Campbell knows right away that it's her.
But watching but when I'm watching it, I just. First of all, Timothy Olyphant, I just know him as an actor.
Okay.
And I just know that it'd be a waste of his talents to have him just play like a normal character.
Right.
So that's what instantly gave it away for me, personally.
Oh, God.
It's like not even the plot elements.
Not even Joshua Jackson being there?
Yeah, not even
Come on, he's from Mighty Ducks. Free Willy. No, but my only issue, my issue with Scream 2 is just the whole, when we found out who it was kind of underwhelming.
I don't think it was underwhelming for me because I didn't expect a big payoff. I just expected it to be fun. Was it Scream 2? Yeah, it wasn't Scream 2, where she's climbing out of the car past Ghostface.
Yes.
That pissed me off, that scene, because she could have ripped off the mask on her way out.
She could have.
And she didn't. And then she looked back, and then it was gone.
Every time they can take off the mask, they always forget to do so.
Yeah.
So,
but that plays into the cliches, which they intentionally do.
They intentionally do. They do it on purpose. So, overall, how did you like Scream 2?
I had a lot of fun with it.
Okay.
I thought it was a really fun movie. I thought that I think the ending kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It felt like the movie's kind of like having fun, just kind of being like a cliche horror film, and then the ending comes and tries to hit you with all the suspense.
Right. So again, I told you, I was like, listen, hey, the sequels aren't as good as the original.
I think that if I was watching the first one and then someone threw the second one on afterwards, I wouldn't mind it.
Wouldn't mind it. Now you got to the third.
Not a fan. The third actually I had to watch in 2 sittings.
Okay.
Because I was watching it last night, and then I was falling asleep during it. So I'm like, all right, let me pause this and go to the next
I fell
morning.
asleep a couple times watching it.
When I was watching the third, the only way I was able to watch it was through a VPN in Netflix. I had to pretend I was from Toronto through my VPN and then access Netflix from a Canadian server.
I just rented it. Again, like I said, people who are from a certain age group, they're just like, I'm not going through all this
press
stuff.
one button.
I get it, but I pressed one button to rent it. I rented it on my PS. It cost me $2.99.
Yeah, this cost me $0. So anyway, I had to rent it through Netflix. But when I was watching it, Scream 3 follows the events of Scream 2. This is a few years in the future. They're making Stab 3.
Stab 3.
The next meta movie. Skip Stab 2. Stab 2. Screw that movie.
Right.
And now you're following the character. They live in Hollywood now.
Yeah.
You see the sets. I don't know if those sets are the actual sets that they showed in the movie.
I think they are. My issue with Scream 3 came out in 2000.
Yeah.
My issue with Scream 3 is that coming from Scream 2, you had a lot of star power.
Yeah, no, Scream 2, I was watching that movie like, man, there's a lot of stars.
There's a lot of people that we've seen on all this different stuff. Scream 3, the highest paid person was Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
And he was a special appearance.
Yeah. With Scream 2, what really just kind of like was boring to me is like, first of all, you see that she's already used to like people calling her constantly.
Right.
She has caller ID.
Yep.
So she's not susceptible to the people constantly just calling her.
Well, she had caller ID in the second one as well.
Yeah, but she's just like, she's mentally just kind of numb to it. Mm. You see in this movie, every time she sees like Scarface, every time she sees the Ghostface, she's like not really bothered by it. She's more bothered for her life, but she's not scared just at the look of it, you know?
Right.
And this one is like another personal attack on her, which was stupid. Her mother worked for the director.
Yep.
And in these movies, and she was also the mother of like the killer. Mm-hmm. And the killer wanted to kill Sid because Sid was the real family that the mom chose.
Right. But you know what also pissed me off and it made me mad the whole movie? They found out that everyone getting killed in real life was killed according to the script.
Yeah.
And the killer kept making rewrites.
Yeah.
Why don't you question the guy that wrote it?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like that's the dumbest thing. That's why I didn't like Scream 3. It wasn't good. I
don't think it was bad, but it was just so painfully mediocre throughout the entire movie.
It was. And they killed Liev Schreiber in the first take, like in the first scene.
I think that when I was watching that, I'm watching these movies, try to watch them with context in mind.
Right.
And that's when I think he started getting big. Is like during.
He wasn't big yet.
He wasn't big yet?
I don't think Liev Schreiber got big until Ray Donovan.
No, he got big from the X-Men series.
Who was he in X-Men?
He played Wolverine's brother. I forgot his name.
Sabretooth?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't big either.
That's like where I knew him from whenever I saw him in things.
Cause honestly, when I saw him, I'm like, that's Cotton Weary.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I don't like that guy. I have not liked Liev Schreiber since.
I loved Ray Donovan.
It's not until Ray Donovan that I was like, all right, Ray Donovan.
How's it like after season 4? Does it start picking up? Or is
his fame or?
No, the show.
I haven't been watching.
Okay. Yeah, so we're on the same boat with that. But I liked Scream 3 a lot. Now, confession time.
Okay.
Or I didn't like Scream 3 a lot. What am I saying? What's wrong with me?
Oh, you did.
Shoot me.
All right.
I liked Scream 1 and 2. Scream 3 was that. Confession time. Mm-hmm. Which camera am I looking to? I'm looking at this one.
Whichever one you want to do.
I did not watch Scream 4. Because I was too busy.
I kept telling you, just skip Scream 2 and 3.
I liked Scream 2. If I skipped Scream 2, I would
right.
not have seen a movie that I liked, okay?
I
Scream
hear you.
3, I thought I would like in spite of you, and I did not.
I kept telling you, Scream 3 is not good. Scream 4 makes up.
You said to me Scream 2 and 3 are not good.
Scream 2 is, compared to Scream 1, Scream 2 is not as good as Scream 1.
And of course it's not as good, but even like in Scream 3, they kept like going really meta, saying like, see, you're not just in a sequel right now, you're in a trilogy.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I did like. That's the only part of the movie that I did like.
Oh, when they came out with that tape?
Yeah.
And Jamie Kennedy did his whole thing?
Exactly. He's breaking the whole thing down
Yeah.
for them, and they're just like taking notes on it and everything.
No, Scream 4 is more like I call it Scream 4 High School Musical because Hayden Panettiere is in there.
Really?
Yeah. Who else? A whole bunch of other like teen. They're not really known names, but Nev Campbell is back. Courtney Cox is back. David Arquette is back. Courtney Cox and David Arquette.
Arquette's like my favorite for like part of the series.
Yeah, he's like in Scream 4. He's Sheriff Dewey. He's not Deputy Dewey anymore.
Wait, so he got reinstated in the force?
Yeah,
from his injury?
he's back. Yeah, he's back on the force. He's back in Woodsboro. Anthony Anderson is in Scream 4.
Oh.
Yeah. Even though there's like a little bit of grown moments in Scream 4, Scream 4 does make up for Scream 3, I feel.
It's like massively or just
Massively, because the thing is that Scream 3 came out in 2000, Scream 4 came out 2010. So what happens is now they have to do something different because the whole formula, like they were churning out these movies like every 2 years. So now they have to do something different. With them doing something different, it came out to be a better movie. And it's very meta. It's more meta than it's ever been because now they've had more stab sequels.
Yeah.
So you'll see like a lot of stuff you're not sure if this is the movie or if this is actually me watching them in Scream. Mm-hmm. You know, so I like Scream 4. Not a fan of Scream 3. Scream 2 is okay. Scream 1 is my favorite.
Yeah, I liked Scream 1 and 2 almost equally, honestly. I really like Scream 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the big thing that we wanted to do last week. The final bit. The movie Us. Yes, we want to spoil Us. We spoke about this last week, but we did not want to spoil it for anybody who has not seen it.
Well, we wanted to at the end, but we didn't have time.
We didn't have time either, but we're gonna sit here and we're gonna spoil it for you guys. So let's take it away.
Yeah. So we already spoke about the general plot of Us.
Right.
I'm trying to shift out of Scream mode right now.
Oh, it's okay.
We spoke about the general plot of Us. Scream is about a family who is...
Us is about a family.
Yeah.
I said Scream is about a family.
I'm sorry. Us is about a family. I said I was leaving Scream mode. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Us is about a family and their clones who come back to take over like the house and kill like the family and take back their place. Mm-hmm. And then you find out throughout the course of the movie that there's more clones that exist. And remember, people, this is all going to be spoilers. So the rest of the episode is going to be Us and spoiler talk. So if you don't want to see that, then you should probably tune out and then tune back in when you see Us.
Yeah. Listen, people like spoilers. I don't know why. People do. People do.
I hate them.
You probably don't, but listen, if it's after 2 weeks, I think you can spoil a movie.
Has it been 2 weeks yet?
It's been 2 weeks.
I think it's been a week and a half.
They beat Dumbo in the it's been more than a week and a half. It's been 2 weeks.
Wait. So you're watching the movie. Then as you're watching, you're finding out that there's more layers to it than it's kind of telling you.
Right.
At first, I thought it was going to be just a home invasion film.
Okay.
And then it led into much more than that was than I think it was intending to. Mm-hmm. This is a Jordan Peele movie, so I knew that there was going to be twists and turns throughout it.
Right.
And I love that we can just say that like after his first movie, we're just like calling him as a director instead of comedian, now director.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is actually his third movie now because the first one was actually Keanu.
He was co-director on Keanu, though.
Okay.
He was co-director and co-screenwriter, and Keegan-Michael Key actually didn't write that movie, and he didn't help direct it either.
Oh, wow.
I was really shocked by that, considering they're like partners in crime.
Right.
But yeah, so we're viewing him as like a director now, and it's great. Watching the movie, one thing I can't help but shake is that he put himself in the father character. I don't know if you noticed that.
He did. I mean, well, I didn't notice him as the father character. I just noticed him as a dad, and I liked all the dad jokes that he was doing.
Yeah.
Like I love the fact that like that's gonna be me when I'm like a dad. Like my kids are like older, and I'm just gonna be saying all this stupid, corny dad joke type thing. Like that's definitely gonna be me wearing like the college sweatshirt and coming outside with a bat. That's definitely gonna be me.
I just think that, so as we're watching the movie, we find out towards the end that our protagonist isn't the real character. Our protagonist was swapped out, and the real protagonist ended up being the villain who led the uprising of all the clones out of the sewers.
Right. She was swapped in 1986 as a young girl that left her parents at the amusement park, which is crazy because I don't know if you noticed in that scene she's saying, "Oh, they're shooting a movie at the carousel." Do you know what movie that was?
No, what movie was it?
They were shooting The Lost Boys.
I don't know it.
Oh, you've never seen The Lost Boys? Where's your mother? You have to have them watch The Lost Boys. It's a great movie. But anyway, Two Coreys was in that also. You'll learn about the Two Coreys later. but she leaves that, and that movie was also shot at that same place, at the same Santa Monica. So anyway, she leaves. She travels off into the House of Mirrors and finds a young girl who ends up choking her and bringing her down to I guess the
which
upside
makes
down.
her talk like this.
Yeah, which a lot of people didn't understand and get. Also, the fact that the Hands Across America thing, she's wearing a Hands Across America shirt.
Yeah.
Right before she gets that Thriller shirt.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like meta things that happen in this movie as well.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you see on the screen is the Hands Across America ad.
Which I was like, why is this in this? Why are they happening? Why is this happening? But then I didn't realize once I went back to it, I was like, okay, I get it now. This was the last commercial that she watched when she was a little girl.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they have TV there.
No, they didn't.
I want to call this place the Upside Down. But
I mean, you could just call it the tunnels.
The tunnels, okay.
I mean, that's what they are. The first thing you see in the movie, which came back to question later on, is the fact that they mentioned how there's like thousands of miles of unused tunnels in America.
Right, which I didn't get at first until I started watching.
Yeah, and then all right, so it's getting towards the end of the movie. I'm like, all right, when are they going to implement this quote?
Right.
Because it made no sense until then. So then like you start finding out things, and there's theories coming out like maybe the protagonist is like the protagonist is like part of like that whole the clone thing, which is part of like a government experiment that went wrong and they shut it down.
Right.
Or you have things that are like they're attached by the soul to like the people like upside. But now you're thinking, are they attached to the people up above, or are the people up above attached to the people below?
Right. I think they're tethered. I think that
they're tethered, but is it a mutual thing, do you think?
It might be mutual. It might not be mutual. You know, because it's hard to say. So when one does something wrong, the other one is it's an adverse effect to them. So if somebody's doing well, the other person isn't doing as well as they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, everyone can't speak in the tunnels, but except for Adelaide, our main character, which her other name is Red. So it's like if people can talk up here, people can't talk down there. That's why when she was a little girl and they were trying to see what was wrong with her, she wouldn't speak, she wouldn't say anything. She had to get back into it. That's why they made her do all the dance, and that's why they made her do art and draw, because they wanted to. And a lot of this stuff we don't understand because we get bits and pieces of her background. We don't understand what's going on until like after it happens. So it's all like we're sitting here waiting to see what's happening, and it's being spoon-fed to us, and we're like, okay. It's like a puzzle. You got to put everything together, and once you put everything together, you go, oh,
yeah,
you know.
No, and definitely that like brings into the case, and that brings to the case that when you're when you're finally figuring, when you see this movie and you leave the theater, you're just like, kinda.
Yeah.
But then as you sit and you vegetate on it and you think about what you just saw and you let it all digest and all the layers and everything, you really honestly need to see it a second time. I haven't. I don't know about you.
I haven't.
But as you think about it more, the more you like it. Like I said last episode, I think Get Out is still a better movie.
Get Out is still a better movie, but like with this one, I felt like I had to keep going back to it more and more. So when it was time to, like for instance, when they go to the beach, she's like they see somebody that's in the ambulance, and if you look, it's the same guy that Josh had walked up to, and that had blood on his hands. If you look, remember he was dripping blood. So it's like that guy had just killed his doppelganger.
Yeah.
You know, we don't see that and we don't notice that until actually it happens. So there's like a lot of things that happen that we're like not aware of, don't see. My only thing is I want to know where they got their jumpsuits from, where they got the knives from,
where they got the rabbits from.
The rabbits I understand, but the gloves, I don't understand where they found all the stuff. The scissors.
I mean, who knows? Maybe the girl just made like runs when she went up.
But nobody's gonna be like this lady that smokes way too much and talks like this is gonna be like going to go get all the stuff. Do they have Amazon in these tunnels? Like, where is she getting all of the stuff? That was my thing. And then my other thing, which really pissed me off when I was watching this movie, was that they're going to the same place that she had a traumatic event. This is why I knew something was up. She's going to the same place where she had a traumatic event.
With Jeremiah 11:11.
Right.
Yeah.
She had a traumatic event there. Why is she going back? I know women. Women will not go back to a place that they had a traumatic experience, and they will argue and fight. Doesn't matter what their husband says. And I heard they've been back there many times. You know, I'm like, you keep going here? Why?
Yeah, no, it's that. There's I'm like speechless right now.
Yeah, I mean that bothered me. I was like, no,
because there definitely are like I said, a lot of textures to it. But
yeah,
we got to start wrapping this up.
All right,
because we're going to air the full episode of 22 Now with Joe Gerber.
Oh, okay, great.
AKA Twisted Sisters tour manager.
All right, yeah.
So
he's awesome.
Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Right. I'm Nigel Fullerton,
and I'm Stephen May.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been The Jump Cut. See you guys next week at the same time. Ciao. Is that what we do now? We do hand signs?
Yeah, I was just signing off.